Hey. The vibe, I think, is change, right? There's like change in the air. And there's big planetary shifts happening right now. The setup, such as it is, we're gonna bring you some cards. I'm working with a real tiny space. I live in New York City. Let's do this thing. Thank you for being here. Settle in, get your tea. I need to get my tea. That's a good brew. Let's do it. Hey everybody, welcome to this week's reading. So in pile 1, we've got the hematoid quartz with the Over the Garden Wall deck. In pile 2, we've got the green fluorite point with a traditional tarot deck from Madrid. And in pile 3, we've got this apatite palm stone with the Herbal Tarot. If you're new to these pick a card readings, what you're going to do is you're just going to tune in with your highest knowing, your deepest knowing, whatever it gives you that sense of being big and small at the same time. Get quiet with yourself. And don't overthink it. Just listen to your intuition. And whichever pile feels like it's calling to you, you're going to scroll down into the description box and you're going to click on your timestamp for your pile. So again, pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. And I'll see you in your reading. Hello, welcome. Pile 1. You chose the... Oh, caught me with my ring light. Do we dare try to focus it? Thinking no. Here we go. The first card coming up for you is 5 of Wands, 9 of Cups reversed, 10 of Swords, Queen of Pentacles reversed, 3 of Pentacles reversed, 2 of Swords, King of Wands reversed. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is like a dissatisfaction. And the word like quality is coming to mind. Sometimes we can hold ourselves to a really high standard, right? Of like our own qualities of others. We can get really mired in tweaks and adjustments and conditions and like details, right? The devil is in the details, right? And that's where things can get a little messy. You know, this is the Wands journey and our creative like fire and passion and soul. And it's like at the 5s, we're always like kind of like that point on a seesaw, and it's like a little destabilizing. And so in that destabilization, are you being fair to yourself? Because it feels like there's like a burden here. It's like, ooh, I feel a little emotional. Are you taking pride in your work? Because just because it's messy doesn't mean it's like, it doesn't mean it deserves to be diminished. Life is messy, like we are messy. And I think embarrassment is being vulnerable before we're ready. And so being seen in a state of like being a little unpolished, being a little askew can shut us down in all kinds of ways. We can be like, oh, I didn't really care that much. Or like, yeah, well, no, I didn't even think it was that great to begin with. And we can really downplay our own work. And so then we're like, we feel protected and safe in that way. But like, you're allowed to ask for help, dude. You're allowed to ask for help. Like, nobody does. Like, there isn't a human life on this planet that goes the whole way without any help. We are hardwired for help. Just like we're hardwired for like compassion and connection. We need each other and we can build that community and we can ask for help. It is okay to ask for help and not receive it. That can feel really scary. That is the scariest thing about asking for help, I think, is when somebody's like, no. But like, please don't abandon yourself in that, because it's actually okay. You'll be okay. And it's I feel like I'm being dismissive in saying that, of just like, well, it's not a big deal, you'll be okay. It is like particularly upsetting to ask for help and not receive it. It really hurts. It's really embarrassing. This 10 of Swords, reversed. Can we be a better steward to our brain? and to those thoughts, and we can hold ourselves a little more gently when people don't show up when we ask them to. Yeah. And just know that if people don't show up when you ask them to, they're not ready to build a community, and they maybe have their own stuff around help and receiving help and asking for it, and that's their work to do. Meanwhile, you can manage your own responses and your own thought patterns. This is the King of Swords. He looks really burdened here to me. And it's like he's learned how to do that for himself. And so then he really can be of service to his community. And this King of Wands here, again, feels like a burden. It's like, I guess I'll build a community, but like, I don't, the King of Wands needs to have the substance in the sauce. The King of Wands is meant to show up as I'm trying to think of like real life people who, it's like Beyonce, Prince. It's like these figures that are like, and they're grounded, filled with themselves. They're not full of themselves. They're filled with their self. That includes mess. It's maybe mess we don't see, but I think even if we saw it, to see someone, fully show up like, yeah, that is the mess. That's what it is today. It's like all it takes is us. It can be a subtle shift that for us to just like claim it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna pull a few more cards. Oh. Okay. 10 of Cups reversed. 6 of Swords. Ace of Wands reversed. 7 of Wands reversed. And the 8 of Wands. The Queen of Cups. I'm hearing like embarrassment. And like, are you compartmentalizing parts of your life? Because like, our inner life and our outer life do have to interact. The inner life doesn't have to be like perfect for it to like, it's like, it's not like you don't deserve to be seen because your inner life isn't perfect, or like there's like mess in your life, or like the Queen of Pentacles is here. She's reversed, and she's really a pro at putting these like sanctions in her life, right? And it's like, it's so that, oh God, I'm feeling like a little emotional again. I feel like a burning embarrassment right now. Like, I hope the lawnmower outside isn't too loud. I'm asking this not from a place of judgment, as an honest question. What will be enough for you, right? There's always more. We can always have more. But what will be enough for you? There's like this embarrassment, this downplaying, this 10 of Cups reversed. There is no such thing as like complete emotional fulfillment. We look at it over there, it's like this rainbow. It's always just on the horizon. We're like, I just have to get there. And then I am this King of Wands. And then, I do have to be Beyonce. And like, it's not real. It's a future idea that will always exist unless we can take what we have in the present and hold it so dearly and so sweetly. And this 9 of Cups reversed too. It's like there are more things to hold in celebration and like the things that deserve to be celebrated. In our culture, we're not very used to listing our emotional accomplishments, right? We can be doing this work to be kinder to ourselves, and it can feel like it's like, well, that's great, but like I still don't have that job I want. I still don't have a house, or I still don't have a car. you know, these like very material things. And material being not money or material surroundings, right? Like, it's not silly. It's not silly to celebrate yourself. Like, in fact, it's pragmatic. Queen of Pentacles here, like, does celebrate like the ritual of living in a body, of daily life, of the like minutia and the mundane. She really thrives in it and she cultivates it. And it's not like, don't you dare insult that. Don't you dare diminish that. That's the good stuff. Like, that's the richest rich soil for things to grow in. We can take that in the 10 of Cups and celebrate that. Like, all of these cups, they will never all be filled, actually. I love this illustration of it. It's so perfect to me. They've all built this together. They've all built this together. This to me is like community, and like, okay, everybody strap in. Like, what can we do? Our cups will never all be filled all the time. So what can we give of ourselves? How can we still be generous, not monetarily, but just with ourselves, like, and each other? Tens, I think, are about generosity and like evaluating, like, okay, like I've really been through a journey, a chapter in my life, and like, what is the takeaway from that, and is what do I want to change? Queen of Cups here popping up. She popped up next to the Eight of Wands. And the Eight of Wands, things are in motion that we don't, it's not our job to oversee the like backstage of our life, right? Because there are things in motion all the time. We have Three of Pentacles is about community, but our community is much bigger than 3 people. It stretches and expands in a web in a way that we can't even imagine. So there are always things in motion, and it's not your job to oversee it. And don't pretend or kid yourself that you can. You can't manage all of it. You kind of just have to let those wands fly. And meanwhile, be good to yourself. Queen of Cups is not really interested in self-criticism. Queen of Cups is going in to touch in with those cups, with her heart, with herself. It's so that she can come back and serve, you know. She doesn't stay in there forever. This is Cancerian energy, which Lindsay Mack talks about that in Wild Soul Tarot. This is Cancerian. Queen of Pentacles is Capricorn. The queens are cardinal energy, the initiating, and this is water and this is earth. So cardinal water is Cancer, cardinal earth is Capricorn. Again, just listen to Tarot for the Wild Soul podcast if you're more interested in that soul-based tarot. It's incredible. Look at these two together. Like, I think just take that in for a second, because I think maybe you're seeing this right now and you might be judging it. Some of you, not all of you. You might be judging this, and it's not about like masculine or feminine energies, right? It's about, I mean, here it's a little bit about repose, but there is active repose. Not that you owe anybody activity or productivity in repose. We all need rest. And this isn't necessarily rest. It's like they are reflecting. And I mean, they look pretty peaceful doing it. They're so happy to be reflecting and considering, you know. Are you worried about how you'll be perceived if you do that? The thing I think that can tie this all together is this Two of Swords here. Queen of Cups was upright, so I think you know you need that. And whose opinions are you asking for? Because this is where I think the brain and the intuition work together. The brain is sort of like, there's a lot of input and I actually can't tell anymore like what to do. And we're kind of like cutting that off. We're going in, you know, we're cutting that off by like, that's symbolizing like, no, outside world, stop for a second. And the brain is like, thank God. Usually the brain noise is like a tornado in there, but this tipping into the Two of Swords, it's like we're cutting off that the influence of the tornado, and we're like, okay, thank God I need a second. And the intuition is like, yes, I'm here for you. Like, here's what's going on. It's like, I feel so, whew, again, I'm feeling emotional. Like, what a relief. What a relief. Just drop the act. Who are you trying to impress? Drop the act, because like, everybody goes through a shitstorm in their life, okay? Anybody pretending that they don't, it's a lie. We look on social media or whatever and we're like, oh, their life looks really good. And it's like, I guarantee it's not perfection. We all have a boat with 6 swords stuck in it, and it doesn't have to sink it. In fact, if you take these out, in the traditional picture, it's like the swords are piercing the bottom of the boat, and if you take those out, your boat will sink. So like, embark on this journey with the knowledge you have. You've earned that knowledge. The wound, with the wounding comes knowledge. It's we all make a bargain at some point that goes wrong, and you know, it's a loss of innocence, but we all lose our innocence. And so like, it actually can spurn us to like go on a journey of like, okay, that's not what I thought it was. And so what have I learned from that? And this 7 of Wands and this Ace of Wands, like, you can relax. This Ace of Wands will come through. It's gonna take you all the way to the King. The Ace is here to confirm that yes, something is alive, something is lit in there. It will be shared, and there's nothing you have to do. There's no scarcity, right? Especially with wands, like, you can give of your fire just by lighting someone else's torch, and it doesn't take anything away from you. You don't have to be on guard protecting this flame, because if you're ever going to share it and take it out in the world, which I think you want to do, that's what sharing your light is. But you don't have as much control over it as I think you want. That's actually okay, and that's a relief. And like, our real communities, our true communities, the people who matter the most, are not gonna care or judge. I'm gonna grab the bottom of the deck energies. Yeah, we've got Page of Wands, and we've got 4 of Swords. Take it easy. Don't let these, like, we are putting down this 4th sword because we're like, I've got these 3 swords. I know how to deal with them. And our swords are like thoughts, brain. I know how to deal with those. I don't have space for this 4th sword right now. And that's okay. And we give ourselves a break in that. And it's not to completely like abscond. It's so that we can come back in. We're taking the repose to come back in. Repose, reflect, reflect, reflect. And in the Page of Wands, this is Leo. This is fixed fire. So Page of Wands, fixed fire, Leo. Page of Wands wants to be seen so badly for like their true self, which can be really, really scary. But this, with this Ace of Wands, the King of Wands, those have to be in place through this Page of Wands. I think the page really holds it together there in this really precious way of like, every King of Wands in the world has had to serve their Page of Wands, and has had to tend to that fixed fire that's like, it's okay. I know this flame is like a little nervous, but like deserves tending, deserves to be seen in their truth. Yeah, I'm gonna pull a self-love oracle for you to send you on your way. So let's shuffle theirs up. Spend time alone. Big crow just flew by, if that means anything to you. And it's number 8. All decisions should ultimately be made by yourself. Give yourself the time and space to seek the answers within rather than without. So reflection, the repose that we're talking about. Like, look at these three. That rest can happen in subtle, small ways. Sometimes it is just taking that like nervous little flame in us and being like, oh, I see you're feeling a little nervous. It's actually okay. Because the judgment from others can be fierce, but if we remember that their judgment is a reflection of a judgment of their self, and if we can remember to ask ourselves what we think of ourselves, ultimately, decisions ultimately be made by yourself. If we come back to what we think of ourselves and what community we want to build, then that's where this like strength can be built and where the embarrassment can diminish. And we can feel embarrassed, but we have to hold ourselves in that. We can't abandon ourselves, okay? This was a pleasure. Thank you for having me in your virtual dome. And, I am open for personal readings. Oh, well, if you want to spend a little time with me one-on-one. Like I said, general reading, take what works, leave the rest. Like and subscribe, comment down below. We want to get on this algorithm's good side. But I love you, and I hope you have a good rest of your day or night, whenever I found you. Welcome file too. I had to change the setup. It felt really weird over there. So we're back with the door handle. We're figuring it out. There's limited space. I live in New York City. I am also gonna do a little clearing. I just learned that Palo Santo is used as an insect repellent, and it's gathered from the dead wood of trees. It's like fallen off of the tree. It's been dead for like 5 years when they gather it. It's not necessarily always ritualistic. I like the smell of it, and it makes me feel like anything is possible. So, if you're here, it's because you chose the green fluorite, and I've lost it. Let me find it. Hold on. It was right next to me. Green fluorite. This came inside of a water bottle, and I've also learned recently that's not good for you. If you're drinking water out of crystal bottles, stop. It's not good for you. The chemicals they use to polish these should not be going in your body. And like, don't shame anybody selling them, because I don't think it's widely known, but gently inform, maybe. Okay, so let's get to it. You've chosen the pile from a deck that I got in Spain when I was in Madrid. And the shop owner was this lovely guy, and he gave me like this little tree of life charm, and just like let me hold each deck that I wanted to hold. They were all behind the counter, and this is the one that like felt right in my hand. So this deck has a little bit of a sentimental meaning. Let's get started. Pile 2, we've got 7 of Cups reversed, the High Priestess, Wheel of Fortune, 9 of Pentacles. Again, I'm feeling like really emotional. 10 of Cups reversed, 5 of Pentacles, 3 of Swords reversed, 6 of Swords reversed, and 7 of Pentacles reversed on the back of the deck right now. We might grab some more. Things were going really, really well for you, weren't they? And it feels like there's this glass of water that's like, oof, like it's gonna tip over. Yeah, I think, oh man, big dreams, big hopes. And then like initiating that, and it didn't go well, I don't think. Oh God. Okay, I'm gonna get myself together here. Whew. Okay. Yeah, okay, just hold. I think there's like an inner kid in there that's really, really upset, and you gotta hold them. You gotta hold them, like bring them some warm water, some warm milk. Hold that inner kid, bring them some tea, something sweet.
don't abandon yourself here. I also feel like I need to say that. Okay. Yeah, okay, just shake out that tension. I'm gonna pull one more here. Yeah, okay. Bottom of the deck here. Okay. So, with the Seven of Cups, got myself together finally. In the Seven of Cups, we're dreaming big. That's the point of this card. You gotta see what's in each of the Seven Cups to see what you're interested in. I think this card gets a reputation for being like, get real. And I think that's a product of capitalism. But we're allowed to dream. We're allowed to dream, and we're allowed to be like, actually, I'm gonna take my time to decide on something that's really interesting to me. Concept. And I see that in the reverse, you were like, okay, got it. I've dreamt, I've considered, I'm stepping into one of these dreams. And like, you proceeded with confidence. The High Priestess, to me, this is just what I've meditated on for High Priestess in my meaning. I think at the High Priestess, we are not this figure, we are the figure looking at this High Priestess. And what the High Priestess represents to me is like gatekeeping. And so it's like when we work through High Priestess, we are like tearing through red tape. We're like, actually, this is accessible to everyone. And I know that. In the marrow of my bones, I know that. And I know that I can proceed with confidence and conviction. So actually, if you could just get up and move. In the traditional Rider-Smith-Waite deck, the High Priestess is sitting in front of a tapestry of pomegranates. And, you know, pomegranates can represent like the effort it takes to get to the sweet pomegranate seed, right? And what the pomegranate tapestry is in front of is water. And it's like no secret. Like you can see, you can just look and be like, that's water. And so at the High Priestess, it's like, yeah, I see this water, so if you could just move, I'm gonna proceed on my journey that I've set out on. I've just set out on a journey on the Fool. I've gathered my tools in the Magician. High Priestess, you can't fool me. I proceed with my foolishness, with my wits, with all of my gifts, my tools, and I go. And then I see that in the Wheel of Fortune, which like reversed upright, the Wheel of Fortune is always sort of fucky, right? It's like we get a little, we're like, woo, I picture like a top wobbling, and we're not going to know how something's going to shake out, right? Literally Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune is always turning. The thing to stabilize us in Wheel of Fortune is ourselves. And so, you know, it seems like you did that, because right beneath Wheel of Fortune is Four of Pentacles. And that's when we're like, hold on, you don't have access to me. You don't have access to me right now. And these four pillars are going to stabilize me no matter which way the wind blows. Whew. Okay. I'm now thinking about the emotion that came through at the beginning. And it seems like you're picking yourself up through this. You're picking yourself up through this, it's a general reading. So it's not like I can sit with you one-on-one and be like, what, do you want to tell me more? Like, what happened here? At the Nine of Pentacles, oh, so much is coming through. Okay, at Nine of Pentacles, it's like, whoa, look at my garden. Look at what's growing in my garden. Then it moves into this Ten of Cups reversed, which makes me feel like maybe there's a little bit of like, oh, but this isn't this way and this isn't that way. And it's like, maybe keeping you up at night a little bit. Perhaps this is the Three of Swords, and this is like pain. Three of Swords is pain. I'm feeling silly all of a sudden. Please forgive me. This is quite a roller coaster. Have you been riding this roller coaster? It's like, woo! I think any endeavor takes us on this cycle. It's like we cycle through. We're like, when we are creating and stepping forth in an endeavor, we cycle through like self-doubt, self-criticism, confidence, self-doubt, self-criticism, confidence, self-doubt, self-criticism, confidence. And I believe in you so hard because of this Four of Pentacles. It's not about being miserly or like withholding. That's the thing, right? It's like we get to make boundaries and we get to say, actually, I'm not available right now. You don't have access to me or my energy, my essence, my body. You don't have access right now. This is for me. And sometimes our own bodies are like, whoa. Could you like check in with us? Like, what's going on? And that's tending to that inner voice. Maybe it's our inner child. Maybe it's literally our body is like, what is going on? I think a good example is like, as the world opens up, at the time of this recording, it's June 2021, and the vaccine is allowing folks to see each other in person again. And after a year and some change of wiring ourselves to distance physically from others, all of a sudden this like embracing with other people can throw our bodies for like, whoa, stand back. And it can cause like a little bit of stress, maybe a little bit of like mental strife. So be with your body, be with yourself, and like it might literally be talking to your body, which like if you live in New York City, talking to yourself down the street, no big deal. But I just want to encourage you to not be afraid of doing that, no matter where you live. Just like a quiet, like, hey, we're okay. I'm not going to let anything happen to you. I promise we are safe. We are safe. We're safe. So yeah, that's maybe not might be specific to some people and not to others. Felt I needed to say that came through pretty strongly. And just like, let it go. I feel compelled to say that too. This is unrelated to the body stuff I just was talking about, but yeah, this Three of Swords, this thing keeping you awake of like minutia perhaps, it's not going to, things will never be perfect. 10 of Cups reversed, things will never be perfect. They really won't. And like, at the Six of Swords, we accept that, and we're like, hey, I've got this wounding, I've got this self-doubt. You can come along, but you're definitely not going to hijack this. You're not going to run the show. I'm running the show. Parenting yourself in this sweet way, because I see you doing that. I see you stepping into Queen of Cups to do that. And you know, oh God, and the Seven of Pentacles reversed with the Wheel of Fortune is like, it's that cycle. It's the cycle again of like self-doubt, self-criticism, confidence, self-doubt, self-criticism, confidence. And at the Seven of Pentacles, we're like, things are gonna grow. And when they grow, that means they're seen, and it means I am seen for my endeavors. So here we go. Gonna hold myself in that no matter which way the wheel turns. And sometimes when it's reversed, we can feel like, God, am I still doing this? And it's like, yeah. Don't feel like you're doing anything wrong because of that. The moon reversed. I think when we don't depend on that cycle, when we're in it, we get stuck and we're like, this is it. This is the forever of this. And it's not. The moon is like, when we're in the moon and it's dark out, we're like really seeing things that aren't there, maybe. Again, just like tend to that voice that's like crying out in this very vulnerable, it feels like a very vulnerable time of like stepping into a public thing. Bravery in our public facing roles doesn't mean we never feel scared. It means that we're really good at tending to ourselves and those scared voices, and we really challenge our thoughts around it, and in a thoughtful way. We challenge our thoughts in a thoughtful way. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. We wade through it, and we can see for ourselves the truth for ourselves. And with these wolves, these dogs howling at the moon, they both deserve to be tended to, right? It's like, again, that proverb of the two wolves and which one will you feed? The wolf that's howling needs attention too. And it's making me think of that, like, I think there have been like tweets and memes about like the idea of like, oh, they're just doing it for attention. Like, okay, give them some attention. Like, there might be something else going on there. But with the wolf that's in us that's freaking out, it's like, shh, 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 shh. Like, pet that wolf, feed that wolf. Don't be mean to that wolf. And I don't think you have been. Maybe you have. Yeah. It's all coming from the bottom of the deck right now. Yeah. Okay, a few more things here. I have 4 more cards to close out your reading, and then I will get you with this self-love oracle to send you on your way. The Queen of Cups, as I said, she's excellent at tending to herself. For her, you know, it gets to be, Jesus Christ. This is the 5 of Pentacles. My babies, my besties. I've been calling this the 4 of Pentacles this whole time. And if you were seeing 5 Pentacles and wondering, hey, Glenna, aren't those 5? Congratulations. You're very smart and observant. So what that means to me is that there were 2 messages for you, that some people did need that message, and especially about our bodies in this time of opening up. And I will now deliver the message of 5 of Pentacles. Thank you all for being here. Now I will deliver the message of 5 of Pentacles, which is, actually, this is great. One of the cards I drew was 7 of Swords. Let's count together and make sure it's 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Perfect.
The 7 of Swords with, it's Mercury retrograde right now, right? Please love me. Please accept me. So the 5 of Pentacles, the 7 of Swords. The 7 of Swords can leave us looking back. We're like, what about those 5 swords I left behind? Surely these 2 are not enough. And at the 5 of Pentacles, we're looking forward and we're like, those pentacles aren't here yet. What do I do?
What do I do?
It's maybe where we're howling at that moon a little bit. We're like, and again with this 3 of Swords here, we're like, and the Wheel of Fortune, we're like churning maybe on these ideas of not enoughness, right? Of scarcity, of like the things, they aren't here yet. The good thing isn't here yet. I left behind the good things. Fuck, how do I bring it all together? And like, what if you're the good thing? What if you are the good thing, baby cakes? Because we've got the Page of Wands here, and the page, we're like, how do I want to use my fire? How do I want to use my fire? I think I know a lot of things about myself, and how do I want to use my fire? And I know I'm about to step into being seen in that way, which can be exciting and terrifying. And I think it really affirms the 7 of Pentacles reversed of like, You mean people are going to see this inner world? People are going to see this inner world? And it's like, yes. And the queen is like so prepared. She's really done her work of like going inward and being like, yeah, there's nothing to be ashamed of here. I'm ready to bring this out. So take your time in there and like collect your shells, collect your weird little findings. There's no rush. There's no rush. You can't rush this growth for sure. And, you know, the moon reversed going into the sun. Come on. Come on. That's beautiful. And it's not because the sun automatically means joy, but it does mean light in the sense of like visibility. Know that like as you are being seen, you are also seeing clearly now. You are also seeing clearly now. The sun sheds that light. It's a promise. The moon is a promise that the sun will come up, right? The wheel of fortune, the cycles, and the sun will go down again. And surely we'll find ourselves in the moon again. But the sun will come up and we'll know some more new things. We'll go inside and we'll know some more new things. And it's okay that it's a cycle, you know? Life is cyclical. I just have to share this with you though for a second. Like, what a funny face. Twins. Gemini season. Yeah, that makes sense now, the emotion I felt at the beginning versus how I feel now. It's a roller coaster I think you've been on, and like baby cakes. That's okay. That's okay. Okay, the self-love oracle to send you on your way. Okay, I know for a fact now the Four of Pentacles message was also supposed to come through. Spirit works in mysterious ways. I'm here for it. This is from the self-love oracle. You are safe. You are safe. And that can really hold you in the moon. You're safe. Protection is always available to you. You have all the resources that you need, both within you and around you. And listen up, okay? Here's, I think, something important to say about this, because like, not all communities feel safe, right? So it's important that if you are safe, you feel safe so that you can help people that actually are not safe. You can participate in mutual aid. You can give of your resources. Everyone deserves to feel safe. So really check in with yourself. Let yourself know you are safe so that we're not on guard and that we can share of our resources in abundance and not out of scarcity, right? The Five of Pentacles isn't about money, but it is about a scarce feeling. We can all run into scarce feelings, and that's important to work through so that we can share of ourselves and our resources, not just monetarily. Okay, thank you, Pile 2. What a ride. I'm honored to be here. Thank you. And share, like, subscribe, watch it again, watch the whole thing on the background with the mute button on, you know, trying to get on this algorithm's good side. I love you. Thank you for letting me read for you. Hello, Pile 3. If you're here, you chose the Appetite Palm Stone. I was just, as I was clearing and readying for this reading, if you're not using your palm stones across the like fascia of your chest, I don't know what you're doing. And like getting in like, ooh, sometimes I'll take a little oil and like get in on my neck, just like ground, set an intention, and just be really good to my little self. Hot tip, that one's for free. Actually, all of this is for free. Okay, let's get started with your pile. First we've got Suspended Person. I love referring to this card as suspension or suspended person. Oh, and this is the Herbal Tarot, by the way. So there's suggestions for herbs that could support you. I'm not an herbalist or a specialist in that way. Please consult a physician about interaction with any meds or any number of things that could happen from taking an herbal supplement. So disclaimer aside, kelp. Strength reversed, cayenne is listed. 10 of Wands, prickly ash bark. Death reversed with elderflower. The Star reversed with skullcap as the suggestion. The Hermit, licorice suggested. The Fool, ginseng. And Judgment with golden seal. And right now your back of the deck energy is 7 of Wands reversed with wild ginger suggested. Okay, my friends, off the bat, there are 6 major arcana cards present. This feels like some massive shifts have been happening for you. I mean, just with Death card here, like what part of you has died this year? And that's not always a bad thing, right? Like we shed many versions of ourselves in this life. And I don't think you quite know yet who's left in there. Do you know what I mean? Like a part of you has died, and we've got to sit with that and grieve that. And it can feel awful. Can feel awful. And if not, you're hanging out in the suspension before the death. Death might be on the horizon for you still, but there's like maybe a massive shift about to come, or it is happening. You might be in the middle of it. And you might be resisting it, but you gotta embrace it. Wow, I am feeling this gesture, arms crossed. I suddenly just got like closed off. Wow, okay. Yeah, there's, I think, a lot of resistance here. And you might be judging yourself a little bit for this shift that's about to happen. Because the only 2 major arcanas that are upright here are the Hermit, which that's fine. We need hermitage, right? I'll get to that in a second. And Judgment. So many things. Okay. I don't think you want to like step out of your current lifestyle because it looks pretty good and it's been working for you. There's, I think, a resistance to some vulnerability. And instead of doing that, you know, strength reversed, strength asks us to like be vulnerable, right? It's the mix of it's not being defensive, but you're also still protected. It's a real like strong parent coming through for us of like, okay, like we'll step out of the car now because the car can't get us everywhere we want to go, and the car looks really good, but we'll be okay. We'll be okay stepping out of it. And you really don't want to do that, I think, because it's followed up by this 10 of Wands. And I think you're like, no, I'll just do it all myself. I'll do it. Fine. If you don't want to help me, I'll do it all myself. That's the phrase coming to mind. That's the this that I'm feeling. The like stagnant energy of just like, you can't resist this forever. Life must go on. And so, or you can. Some people never get out of their car in their whole life. And they stay in that car for 50 years and then they die. They don't ever have multiple deaths in their life, right? We are meant to shed. We are meant to shed versions of ourselves. There are chapters of our lives. If we're going to grow, the death is like then becomes compost for the next thing. Like nothing in nature is wasted. And you're taking on this responsibility of like, no, this will work. This is fine. I'm fine. I don't quite understand the resistance, but I want to. I feel like you don't want to talk to me, which is funny because you're here. So are you judging this a little bit? I think you might be judging this a little bit. That's fine. We like need skeptics. Skepticism is important. I'm just here to like help you rearrange your thoughts. I think feeling threatened is an important step in our evolution because that's a good sign that we're being asked to question something in ourselves and question a deeply held belief. And so the star reversed. The star is ruled by Aquarius, and we are in a new age of Aquarius. Saturn is in Aquarius right now. Technology, like the internet, the way we connect, it's all being revolutionized, and it's massive connection through the airwaves. And I think you're clinging a little bit to like when Saturn was in Capricorn and that was working for you and you were like nose to the grindstone, like working and seeing results. And that cannot serve you forever. If the pushing worked, we'd all be there already. This star reversed, the star is like a little bit dreamy. The star is so Aquarian, it's the water bearer. And like, look at all these magical treats and treasures that the star as the water bearer is bringing to the water that will serve everyone, because they've gone in and they've been like, tick, 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 tick. They've had some rest. Rest is not bad. Hustle culture will kill us all unless we rest. And like, you need rest. You can't just like jump right into the next thing. Like, no, I've got it. I can do it. I've got it. Like, you need rest. Again, I think you're like afraid a great judgment will be placed upon you for that. Here's the thing about judgment. That is a judgment of yourself that you're placing on other people. And I do this too. And I think it's important to remember that that's not fair to do to other people, to not give them a chance to have their own opinion. And if it is a judgment, that's about them. That's a judgment of their self. What are you judging in yourself? Because like, then you're just gonna work your shit out on other people. And as Brene Brown says, quit working your shit out on other people. Quit working your shit out on other people. Get out of your crab shell. And like, crabs we know need their shell, but like metaphorically, get out of your crab shell. It's not gonna take you everywhere you wanna go. And like, also, I'm here to say life is foolish. Like, nobody gets out of here alive, so why take it so seriously? Life is foolish. Pursuits are foolish. The entire journey of the tarot starts on the premise of foolishness. What if everything could just be foolish? Being alive is humiliating. It really is. So, like, embrace it. Who are you trying to impress? Who are you trying to impress? Life is foolish. Step into that. Because this is also Aquarian and it's also reversed, and I feel you judging that. And it's like, no, there's never been a ground to begin with. Everything could be taken away from you tomorrow. Clinging to it ultimately makes it a burden for you. Sometimes we are happy to take all the wands. We're like, no, these are my wands and I'm taking them. I'm happy to. But the feeling I get here, because it's before death reversed, it's this like, no, these are my wands. They'll always be my wands, and they'll always be exactly this way. And I'm just here to tell you they won't. There's never been any kind of security like that. That's an illusion. In the Hermit, like, take your time. This is ruled by Virgo. Virgo, the virgin. Virginity, I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about solitude, solitary times in our lives. To quit looking for the approval and like being on high alert for judgment. 7 of Wands reversed. Hello, hypervigilance, high alert for judgment. Like, What do you think? What do you think of yourself? Go in there. Look, they found it. They found a little pearl of wisdom. But it's only by going inward by themselves that they've done this. You know? Yeah. And maybe you're not a spiritual person, but if you're feeling called to investigate some spirituality, you're allowed to investigate that. And it doesn't mean that's like your new identity. You can dabble and then you can leave. Nothing's going to keep you stuck unless you want it to. You know what I mean? I think the fear of getting out of your car is that, metaphorically, getting out of your car, is that like you will forever be wandering without a sense of placement, perhaps. But that's not how it goes. You know, you can get in touch with something else, and maybe it's not spirituality, maybe it's not an idea of like something bigger than yourself, but I think in serving our communities, we are certainly in touch with others and their needs. You know what I mean? And maybe that actually is like something bigger than ourselves. You know, that can sometimes break us out of like the judgment, the criticism, like just like, wait a second, expand your scope. And like, I think there can be a shift. It's rather than like watching your feet while trying to learn to dance, you just dance. You're not worried about what your feet are doing or how they look. You're doing the dance, not by rote, not by autopilot, but by a sense of something else, something deeper. And maybe that wants to come through now in Ace of Swords. I'm picking from the bottom of the deck now, this energy of trying to get to you. The Ace of Swords is confirming that there's like maybe some new ideas coming forth, and maybe this deserves to be written out first. That Ace of Swords can be an encouragement to write. And wow, yeah, Ace of Pentacles, like a seed planted has no choice but to grow. So like, experiment, plant some new seeds, do a little journaling about it, you know? There's like a cookie cutter I think you've been trying to live by in 10 of Cups reversed. You get to decide how you want your life to look and how you want to fill these cups. And the cups will never all be full all the time, all at once. Hello? Like Strength reversed, like this attachment to like an outward appearance is, I think you're the only one worried about it. And I say that with so much love. Yeah. You're gonna bump up against soon, I think, this death and this rebirth. At Judgment, it's not just about like our idea of ourselves and how we perform ourselves. It's kind of about like, we've really learned something at Judgment and we've earned it. And then we finish that cycle in the world and then we step right back into the Fool. You know, I think there's this fear of like, well, what do you mean? Like, if this part of me dies, then like I'm gonna begin again in something else. And it's like, maybe, yeah. I think you want the security of like these things in place in your life, but like allow that Aquarian energy to come through. It'll be okay. The rigidity will break you. You gotta move like kelp. You gotta move like seaweed, you know? This person in suspension, you can either fight it or you can go with it. And it's like the suspension will happen either way at some point in our journeys. So like, what is it to just like relax into it, you know? Okay, pile 3. Interesting that you chose Appetite. That is such a grounding, like Taurian stone. And I'm gonna send you on your way with your self-love oracle card. It's this deck. You cannot make this up, okay? You can judge this all you want, but guess what? Your card was be nimble, okay? Be flexible, be nimble. The rigidity will break you. The cookie cutter is actually so much less fun when you could just let go and be a little bit foolish. Don't be afraid of looking foolish. Embrace that, okay? It says, when we ask for help, we are sometimes called to be flexible when it arrives in unexpected form. Something drew you to this video, and maybe you weren't expecting a tarot reading to call you out so vividly, but it did, perhaps, if this was the pile for you. So take what works, leave the rest. Wow. Okay. Thank you for being here. And I love you. And I challenge you to like and subscribe and leave a comment, because I think that might be good for you, because like, who gives a fuck what other people think? For a long time, I didn't like or subscribe to any of the channels I was watching because of this self-judgment I had. And that's withholding like from the community of readers that I was benefiting from. So I dare you. I
double dog dare you
to like and subscribe, okay? Who cares what other people think? Nobody makes it out of here alive, okay? Thanks for being here, and I love you. And I'll see you next time, question mark? No expectation. Bye.